Hey guys, and happy Monday. Welcome back. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, guys, so we have a lot to talk about today. And of course, we'll be back this morning at 11:15 a.m. to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 6 Reunion Part 4 with Nicki Minaj, because that shit went down. All right, we'll be talking about that on Down with Jason. But as for right now, we're back to talk about the fact that Gizelle, Bryant, and Robyn Dixon are explaining why Robyn was almost not cast on the Real Housewives of Potomac, and she reveals how they met and talks a little bit about their troubled past. Yeah, we have all the details on that and more. But before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so Gizelle and Robyn seemingly have one of the strongest relationships on the show, right? We saw where Nicki Minaj was calling them out last night and saying, do you guys have something more going on? Is there something a little freaky happening? And they both said no. She said, have you ever stayed in the same hotel room? They were like, yes. Have you ever stayed in the same bed? Yes. Was it a king bed or a queen bed? It was a queen. It was when we went to Andy Cohen's baby shower. We stayed in the same bed, but it's nothing like that. I was surprised that Nicki Minaj even brought this up because I've never thought that Gizelle and Robyn had any sort of intimate relationship. But okay, honestly, for me, I always thought that Robyn knew Gizelle is kind of, well, she's sort of the face of Potomac. She's one of the front runners for sure. And she's such a fan favorite that they even gave her a spot on Bravo's chat room. You always see the network and Andy Cohen rewarding her. So if Robyn stays in good graces with Gizelle, well, it looks like Robyn gets to stay on the show. So I always looked at it in that way, thinking, no, I think Robyn knows what she's doing. She moved out of the townhouse and then she was able to buy her own house because Gizelle is an advocate for her to stay on the show, which makes sense. But now they're revealing how they met and explained why Robyn was almost not casted on the Real Housewives of Potomac. All right. During an episode of their joint podcast, they discuss the history of their friendship, and Gizelle kind of gave us information about the first time she ever laid eyes on Robyn. This is not helping their case when it comes to all of the tough questions that Nicki Minaj is asking. But all right, she talks about how she laid eyes on her best friend after moving to Baltimore, Maryland. She said, 100 years ago, I moved to Baltimore and me and my husband at the time went to the car wash. And who did I see? This beautiful woman. Mind you, this was on the Unreasonably Shady podcast, the podcast that Gizelle and Robyn share. And she said, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's really pretty. And she kind of looks like me. But I saw her and I thought she was really, really beautiful. And I thought to myself, I want to know who that is. Then years later, I was at a party and lo and behold, this beautiful woman was introduced to me by one of our friends, Charisse Jackson Jordan. If you guys don't remember Charisse, she was on a couple of the first seasons. I think she was on season 1 and season 2. And she was sort of the Kyle Richards or Lisa Barlow of the franchise, meaning Kyle was one who helped production sort of cast all of these different dynamic women to make up the entire cast of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in the beginning, and Lisa Barlow had that same position for Salt Lake City. Charisse also did the same thing for Potomac, and I thought that was interesting because she's no longer on the show, and I don't think it's because she didn't want to be. But according to Gizelle, prior to meeting Robyn, she had frequently been asked about her by people around town asking, are you two related? She said, everybody kept asking me if I was related to Robyn Dixon. And I was like, I don't know no Robyn Dixon. And who the hell is Robyn Dixon? And Robyn Dixon, what? So then I was like, holy shit, you're the girl everybody's asking me about, and she's beautiful. So I don't mind to be related to her. We're not related, but I mean, I'll take that. So we instantly became best friends, and the rest is history. Now, after this conversation, the ladies dished on how they were cast on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Apparently, Gizelle was a shoo-in from the beginning, but the same can't be said about Robyn, as the casting director initially hated her after speaking with her over the phone. Okay, that's interesting to me. I mean, hated her seems pretty strong, but okay. Fortunately for Robyn, her bestie came to the rescue and convinced the director to contact Robyn a second time. Gizelle said, I was good to go. And they were like, do you have any friends? And Gizelle recalled of her conversation with casting. And I was like, yes, her name is Robyn, and you're going to call her, and she's going to be amazing. From there, she said, so they called this person that I hyped up. I was the hype woman, and I was like, she's amazing. And then Robyn is on the phone with the casting director, not giving a shit. So the guy immediately called me back and was like, I hate her and she's out. I hate her and she's out. Okay, it gets better. So it took Robyn a minute to be nice to casting. So finally, they obviously loved her, and the rest is history. All right. Well, for Robyn being on the show, I don't know if everyone immediately loved her, and I don't know if they still love her being on the show. If you watch social media and how the fans react to Robyn, a lot of times she's getting not backlash, but people saying, well, there's not a real storyline. We don't want to hear any more about your wedding that might be one day with Juan Dixon. You're not giving us a whole lot to work with. Sometimes she's often called Teddy Mellencamp 2.0. That's not a good thing, not for reality TV. While Teddy and Robyn, I'm sure, are fabulous wives and mothers, it takes a special kind of personality to be reality TV gold. I don't think that it's a bad thing if you're not, because a lot of these women are so over the top, they're so eccentric, and it seems like it takes a special kind of person to make it in there. Okay. Later in the podcast, Robyn dropped a little information about herself and said that she doesn't share this too often. Though her parents believe she was the perfect child, she was actually running the streets with the wrong crowd and began drinking and smoking cigarettes and marijuana before she even made it to high school. She said, I met some people who weren't the perfect children, and I succumbed to peer pressure in like the 7th grade. In 7th grade, I was smoking cigarettes and running the streets, like running the literal streets of my neighborhood. And then we would go break like the Mercedes emblems off of people's cars, and I was a vandal. I'm sorry if you noticed one day that your Mercedes emblem was gone from the hood of your car. It was me. I was taking cans of soda and pouring them into mailboxes. Okay. Well, apparently, thankfully to Robyn's father, who eventually found out about her bad behavior because she found her drunk in the backseat of her car with a much older guy. And she credits that moment for saving the trajectory of her life. All right. Well, with that, I have to ask you guys, because I'm so curious, what are your thoughts about Gizelle saving Robyn's position on the show? Are you surprised? Because I cannot say that I am. I'm not surprised one bit by this. I think if it weren't for Gizelle, then she wouldn't be on the show to begin with. And that makes a lot of sense. But I don't want to just give you my opinion. I want to ask what you guys think. So go ahead and comment below. And before you go, don't forget we are going live at 11:15 to talk Potomac on Down with Jason, and then 12:30 with Tisa Tells, Race Report, and also Layla Lynn to talk about Portia's Family Matters. This is my first time meeting Tisa, and I cannot wait. And also, I'm dropping a poll in my community tab to ask you guys. Jason and I came up with a new idea, sort of like a pillow talk or like the people's couch. We want to invite you guys into our living room while we're watching new episodes of our favorite franchises and let you guys see our reactions and stream with us. I think it would be so much fun, but I want to know if you guys are interested in it first. So go vote in the community tab. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.